So we get two straight here with, what's his name?
Bodan temnyk.
Okay.
Top 32, YCS Atlanta.
Okay, cool.
And a bunch of other tops in Australia that don't count here apparently.
Oh.
I was running advantage deck.
Okay.
3 Wolfbach, standard card, you gotta run it.
Sir, I like your mat. You know what would accent that mat really well? This shirt.
That book mat.
Oh, sorry.
3 bear. Bear, standard card, comes into games, advantage is your opponent, replaces itself, does whatever it wants. Baylor stops OTKs, good against the mirror match, good against the range attacks. Can't really lose when you have this card in your hand, but drawing it when you have no losses to follow up from your Baylor is bad, so that's why we're only going to do 2 card D, set a bunch of traps, summon card D, that's a philosophy, get you ahead, one gorilla, you only need 1, pops back row, it makes wind and pike interactions with his timing, it's a really good card.
Riley James Bergen, Barrett Arthur Keys, Christopher Robert Magger, Alex J. Petrie, Michael Bernard Kokopudis, and David A. Wadsworth.
Hey, that's not me.
These players have been selected for the upcoming playoffs. You have 2 minutes before you forfeit your slot.
Alright.
Good?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Gorilla does everything you want it to do, except for pop monsters. So like this card can't really get over much, but it pops back row, it baits out Warning, baits out Fiendish Chain, baits out a lot of cards. So that's why you run 1, because you can search it really easily.
Search it whenever you need it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing about it. 2 comes up a lot, but like you can cycle this cardinal sometimes. It's a really good card. Thunder King, the card basically says when this is on the field, certain decks can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! So you've got to run it in this deck, you know, it just outpaces your opponent a lot of the times. It sits there on the board, they can't do anything, and while it's on the field, you don't worry about your Tenkies not being able to go off because, you know, this card's winning you the game anyway, and when it dies, your Tenki's alive, so you just keep going. For the spells, for the spells, we've got 3 MST. MST, insane card, you've got to run MST, of course. 3 upstart. 37 card deck essentially, gets you closer to your combo pieces, gets you to traps, gets you to everything. 3 duality, same philosophy as upstart, just gets you 3 cards deeper, good combo with card D. It's essentially, you know, getting you 5-ish cards deeper if you look at it that way. Like you get to look at more options, a lot more available, and you don't have to special summon this deck as much as other decks, so 3 seems optimal. 3 tanky, searches everything.
Seconds, still looking for Riley James Bergen.
3 lands.
Barrett Arthur Keys.
Card's insane. Helps with the mirror match. Lets your bears resolve. Lets everything resolve that protects your exceeds and Thunder Kings and such. Book of Moon. Standard card. Stops their plays. Lets you run over stuff with Gorilla. Just lets you combo off when they can't, you know, really do anything on their turn. So like breaks established boards as well, which is good. 1 Tensu because running more than 1 in this deck when you only have about like 8-ish summonable monsters isn't too good. So you want the 1 because you can search it off bear and stuff like that, and then it lets you combo out, and it usually sticks to the board, which is good. Other than that, you know, you don't really need it on the board all the time because you're running so few monsters. 1 Goyoku because you can search it, freezes back row, really dangerous card right now. 3 Fiendish Chain, card's absurd, good against every matchup pretty much. Staple at 3 in pretty much every deck, I think. And it's only really cut off by MST and Lance, but you know, when they're wasting cards like that, you get to keep your Warning, stuff like that. Let your Tankies resolve, which is good. 2 Blackhorn, expected a lot of Hieratic, expected a lot of, even in the mirror match, against Gigi as well, they have to resolve and exceed, and this hits the exceed. Drawing this when they've already got an established board is kind of gross, but other than that, this card is insane. You just can't really lose when you have it against certain decks, especially when you have a big exceed monster on the board and all they can do is like silent honor you. So you just, you know, Blackhorn the silent honor. 1 D Prison, better than Mirror Force. The card hits bigs, hits everything in the mirror match, which makes the Wolfbach dead. Card's absurd. Torrential Tribute, standard, staple, good card. Solemn Warning, staple, best card in the game right now, which is on par with Blackhorn right now. If Blackhorn could stop normal summons, it'd be Solemn Warning essentially for free. Bottomless Trapple, again, identical to Warning and all that. Again, drawing it when they've already got an established board sucks, but it's too good to draw. Like when you're going first and you see it, you're basically going to win most of those games that you see it.
Riley James Morgan and Christopher Robert Wagner.
Compulse, outs, bunch of cards,
for forfeiting your
outs the
spots.
exceeds that are trouble for you.
We are now looking for Oliver Reese Hinton
Sorry.
and Donovan William Schneider.
Yeah, so compulse, outs
Oliver
the
Reese
exceeds.
Hinton and Donovan William Schneider. You
Takasuchi,
have
big
1
problem.
minute to get to the main stage before you forfeit your spot in the public event playoffs.
Yeah, other than that, like it lets you combo up, like if you summon a bear and they bottomless it, you can chain compulse in certain scenarios where it's good. Lets you like save cards, outs their dudes where you can put pressure on the board, which is good.
Cool.
That's it for the main. Do you want to do side or extra phase?
It doesn't matter. It will work for you.
2 Tiger King, insane card, you have to run it in this deck, searches your spells, shuts off cards like Zenbane, is a really good card. Played 2 Silent Honor, card's absurd, better than Black Ship of Corn in my opinion, because every card that Black Ship would usually hit, this card can hit as well, outside of the random scenarios where you can't out like a Red Ox, or you can't, you want to do like 1,000 burn damage in main phase 2 after you swing with a bear and get a tanky for a Wolf Bark. But this card didn't really come up too much this weekend, but in theory seems like better than Direwolf, better than Black Ship of Corn. I think going ahead, maybe 3 seems good, but it depends how the format pans out.
Okay.
Crazy Box against decks with skill drain and stuff like that. Sometimes you can get, a little bit crazy, summon it and roll dice, but, just depends how you're feeling. Cardinal, only 1. In hindsight, maybe 2 would have been good, but 1 because of the really low monster count, and because, it's absurd against Dragon Rulers, Hieratic, just every deck, because it just breaks their established boards and clears their graveyard, so big monsters. You can butcher Brujins by limiting their cards to Carnation and stuff like that. It's a really good card. 1 Excite-On Knight, card's absurd. Black Rose Dragon, you can summon it easy in this deck. Didn't really come up too much this weekend. People have been playing around with it a lot, around it a lot. Same with Arc Knight. But against worse players, you can usually get a lot of value out of this card in certain scenarios. This pretty much is only Hieratic, but it can come up against Dark Lord, I guess, other random decks, and some of the big monsters like Chaos Dragons. Maystroke, easily one of the best exceeds in the game at this point. Outs Bujins, outs a bunch of decks, good in the mirror match because it shuts off their attack modifiers, and it just sits as a wall, and it's a very, very good card. Dweller against Hieratic, Mermail, Dark World, whatever other decks. Augusta Emerald, you run so few monsters that you bounce them back, and then you're hoping to draw them again, especially if you're drawing monsters and you still have live tankies. You can make this with a Wolf Bark for free, put a card back, draw a card, and then you have like your tankies live, everything's live. Cowboy, burn damage for game. On occasion, you can swing over a monster, lower its attack, and just do whatever. Direwolf didn't really come up, but you can see the applications. It pops cards, you can load it with a Wolf Bark and pop like a bear or whatever, just keep going and keep this on the field and get 2 cards out of it. 1 Giant Hand, really insane card in theory, came up a few times, wasn't too absurd, but getting it in defense and having a lance is really good because it limits what Spellbooks can do, what the mirror match can do. Basically, like when your opponent's down in cards, which they should be against this deck, you summon this as like the final kill. It negates the effects. It's like another Phoenix Chain essentially. It's a very good card. Takasuchi, it's like another Maestro, very good in the mirror match, good against Bujins, good against a lot of decks, puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, and you don't summon this against matchups where it'll get blown out too easily, but other than that, like very, very good card. You can't die to bear, which is the main application. The only outs really become compulsory.
Okay.
The side deck, we have 3 Mistake, only against Spellbooks. I guess you can find like other applications for it, like I didn't really play any decks where I wanted to side this in, I didn't burst Spellbooks at all either, so essentially just a dead 3-card side spot, but if I burst Spellbooks, this would definitely go in. Mind Crush goes against decks where you get information, so like Bujin, stuff like that. Good against Mermail, definitely. Good against Prophecy. You can find some applications against Gigia, depending on the feel for the player and stuff like that, but really good card. When you see 2 in an opening hand against certain decks, you know you're going to win the game because you get to see their hand with if you blind Mind Crush, and then the second one will always hit because you know their hand. 3 Overwork for the mirror match, for Harpies, for Gravekeepers, whatever that pumps a guy. Very good card. In the mirror match, it catches a lot of people off guard. Usually, people think that if you have this while you have a monster, it's kind of bad, but like if you have a monster and you have a tanky and they have like a monster and a tanky, it's like a bear or something, you're going to lose your monster anyway and they're going to get damage in, and this card plays like another torrential tribute essentially. Very good card, and you just don't have to commit to the field.
I'd like to congratulate our YCS Atlanta Dragon Duel champion,
Bodan, good against Bodan, good against Hieratic, good against any deck like Light Swan, stuff like that. We need it against Hieratic and against Boojans because they're very hard matchups at times. Temnyk C, Mermail, Hieratic, any deck with special summons, like combo decks, Karakuri, shit like that. Gets you a lot of value, but you need to be drawing into Veilers, so I'm not sure if I'd side this again. One Soul Drain. Card's good against Hieratic, Dragon Rulers, like stuff like that, like anything that revolves around the graveyard. And then MVP of the weekend was Full House. You side that against the Mirror Match, you side that against Spellbooks, you side that against anything with back row, because you can hit your own Tenki, you can hit Tenki Duality after you activate Duality, and hit 3 back row, and it costs you nothing because the Tenki paid for itself. You essentially got a 3 for 1. And it's absurd. You can't really play around this card, and I think this is only going to get better as the format goes on, where people are playing more traps to counter all the unfair decks. So cards like this, I think people are already buying it up. Siding 2, 3. It's a very good card. I wish I sided more, but I didn't have room in my side because everything sort of covered it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Thank you, and congrats on both for tops.
Thank you.